Well, the whole concept of herd immunity is based on natural infection and the idea that if you have enough people immune to the disease, it no longer circulates and you protect the people that need to be protected. The trouble with vaccine-induced herd immunity is it's never 100%.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on the Dr. Nandi Show. Really important show today, and we're talking about vaccines and trying to understand the controversy surrounding them. Now, many people and organizations argue there are rarely reasons to not get your child vaccinated. However, more and more parents are beginning to refuse vaccines being given to their kids, and they claim that there's a valid reason why. Now, joining us today are a husband and wife team who spent years seeking information about the regulation of vaccines. Please welcome to the show Dr. 𝗖𝗵𝗲𝗯 and his wife, Patricia. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Thanks, Doc. Appreciate it. So, you're a doctor, you're a nurse practitioner, and you guys are concerned. And you heard Dr. 𝗵𝗲𝗎𝗓 talking about this herd immunity, and many doctors talk about that. What's your opinion? Is the herd immunity what we say it is, or do you have a different opinion?
Well, the whole concept of herd immunity is based on natural infection and the idea that if you have enough people immune to the disease, it no longer circulates and you protect the people that need to be protected. The trouble with vaccine-induced herd immunity is it's never 100%. I was young enough to have measles when I was a kid, so I have a life of immunity. I'm never going to infect anybody with measles. But if I get vaccinated with measles, there's actually 3 types of failure of that vaccine. One is they're never 100%. We all know this, right? I mean, measles is pretty good. It's 94%, 97%. That's the first type. The second type is where you lose immunity. And, contrary to that 5 to 8% number that we heard about the cases of measles, in Michigan, where I practice, we had 40 cases of measles that developed because somebody brought it in from outside the country. 6 people were documented to have double vaccines. 13 were documented to be completely unvaccinated. And the rest of them were adults that we assume had vaccines as children, but they couldn't document it. That's the second type. The third type is the scary type, where these viruses are actually mutating, kind of like what happens with antibiotics and bacteria, right? We use these antibiotics, they become resistant, the bacteria become resistant, we get super infections. Same thing is starting to happen with the measles virus. There's actually a strain of measles virus that right now is not destroyed by the antibodies we create with vaccines.
Really important points. And so here's the thing, people always, in life there's black and white and people see no gray. I see a lot of gray here. This is not a perfect system, and it's being, perhaps in your opinion, is being demonstrated as a perfect system that has no fail. Would you agree with that?
Well, I would agree with the idea that there is a lot of gray zone with these vaccines. And, as an example, this is a relatively recent paper that they looked at something called IVIG. So, you go to a plasma center, you're donating plasma. Usually there are college students for pizza and beer, right? But they use that to treat people that don't have a good enough immune system to fight natural infection. And what they found was the level of antibodies to the measles has dropped from, in my day, it was maybe 3,000, 4,000, something like that. They started with 1 vaccine. It went from that down to 1,200. With 2 vaccines, it's down to 500. And it's gotten to the point where these people are getting this IVIG to protect themselves. There's not even enough protection against the measles. And even if you vaccinate the donors, you increase the levels, but then they drop off again. So yes, I encourage people to do titers if they want to know if they're immune, but a lot of times that's not even accepted. Mandate, mandate, mandate. You have to get your vaccine. We don't care what the titer
But I
is.
think that, so we have to give solutions to people, because I think there are a lot of questions, but then what do? You get all this information, what do you do? In my opinion, here's the thing. There's people who get IVIG, for those you're following, they don't have a strong enough immune system. So you got immunocompromised people, sometimes pregnant women, you give them IVIG because you don't want to have them get an infection. So those people don't have antibodies because their immune system is just not strong enough for it. So clearly he's right, they don't have antibodies, but they don't have antibodies often because their immune system can't produce it. You have to remember, for those you're following, is that you have to have an immune system to make antibodies. So if you don't have an immune system, those are the people who get the IVIG, you will not have those titers. But he's absolutely right, though, in the sense that if you're an adult and you've had the vaccine, it doesn't mean it's a panacea. What I'm hearing in my interpretation is that we can still get better. But I think, to me, I would not say let's stop vaccinating everybody based on that. Let's ask those questions. Let's ask the industry to answer those questions. And then I think you'd feel better. Really important point. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And I know you'll be coming on again. We talk a little bit more about this. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Partha Nandi. And if you enjoyed that video, you're going to love the next one. It's full of incredible information to help you start your health hero journey.